Hi, I'm Natasha Lockhart. The summertime blues are kicking in and it's time for back to school planning. Are you ready?
I'm Stacy Beck. Raising a house full of toddlers sounds like a lot of fun, doesn't it? We'll talk to one mother about that.
And I'm Angie Murphy. Have you ever thought about writing a book? We'll visit with someone that's fulfilling that dream.
Also, we'll talk about the circle of life and how things change. All this and more on Studio Chatter. Welcome to Studio Chatter. How's everyone doing?
Fiesta Week is so much fun, but it is so long too. Like I feel like I need a vacation after the vacation of Fiesta Days.
Yes.
But I love it.
It's draining. It's hot.
Hot.
It was so hot. But the parade was
Beautiful.
It was really
a touch of rain. Oh.
So I need to tell you, I saw Barrett, your 8-year-old little girl, for those of you viewers who
I think
don't
everybody
know.
saw her at the end of the parade. She took the mic.
Oh, she did? Oh.
If you happen to watch the rebroadcast.
I need to watch it.
Yeah.
So we were up
it's
at the
gonna be a
top and
moment.
she was riding with Dejana, Miss Utah. And I went over and I said, Barrett, where's your mom today? And you know what she said?
Oh, no.
She's just home in a t-shirt drinking some coffee.
What?
I know.
No,
and I
not
said,
at all.
oh, is she? Yeah, my dad is too. And he's just yelling at the TV.
Okay, well,
I
don't know where she gets it from.
And instead you've been...
And I was really at the other end of the
Yes,
parade.
you
I
were.
didn't see.
Right,
So
right. So that's
She
super funny.
just made me laugh so hard. I'm like, where does she come
She's
up
ready
with
for
this stuff?
TV.
I love your pictures together. Well, she thinks she is
Yeah,
too.
up
Anyway,
and
that's a
coming.
completely different topic.
That's
Co-host
She can-
in the
she can
future.
come
There you
and
go.
sit
There you
in
go.
one
When
day. There you
Natasha
go.
has to sit out.
Yeah.
So Fiesta Days was fantastic. Yes, there was
Totally.
a parade, there were some performances, there were the rodeos, just so many things. But we were talking before the show started about the de-bloating and like the coming off of like the
I ate everything,
the food.
and I kept wanting to go back down there and like, oh, I haven't tried that yet.
Right.
Guess what I
Right?
had? My first one ever.
What?
A Navajo taco.
What?
I still have not had it.
Okay, you guys,
Wait. Your first ever?
Like,
Did
Down
you
there.
did you eat school lunch in Utah?
Okay, but not ever.
Yeah.
Like just down there, or like ever in your life.
I don't remember ever having
Ever.
one. I'm getting old. Maybe
Okay,
25
well that's
years ago
just
I had
silly
one.
because
Wow,
Stacy, and
Oh, it
how
was
was
Welcome
it?
to Utah.
I ate the whole darn thing. Like, I kind of felt bad. Like, maybe I should stop. My friend's just watching me. I'm still going.
I love it.
I feel that way when
so
I'm at
good.
Cafe Rio. I'm like, should I get the tortilla or should I not get the tortilla? Because it's so tempting. Because I'm like,
is.
I'll just break up a little
No, if you
more.
haven't, then you eat like a little piece of it. You have to say no
Or if
if
you're
you're
with
going to.
girlfriends, they're like, oh, I'll need a box. And I'm like,
I
Not
don't.
me. I'm going to eat the whole thing.
eat it all right now.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
Maybe
it
that's
was
why
very
we're
yummy.
bloated.
Maybe.
Because we eat the whole thing.
Well, if it matters, did you know that you can have the Texas Twister sugar-free? You can actually request it. Like, there's a light version. So I did do that.
Can you make
Well,
that
good
girl for
bring
that
that up
one.
next year?
Okay,
Yes,
so my
yes.
cousin is a new police officer here in Spanish
Okay.
Fork, and so all this stuff is new to him. I mean, he comes from Lehigh, so he gets this small town. Now it's bigger there, but anyway, he was down kind of patrolling the area of the carnival, and we were down there getting our corn on the cob, which we totally love.
Yes.
And we were at
Yes,
that
I
booth,
love them.
and he said, oh yeah, I can't have that. Like when I bite it, it gets stuck in my teeth, and I'm like, okay, well you have to have it. I'm like, can I cut it off for you? And he's like, no, I'll do it sometime. And so I went over to the corn stand, ordered up a couple of them, one for me, of course, one for him, and she had a little corn husker.
Oh.
She took it off the cob for him, and I went and delivered it to him, and he got all red-faced.
Oh, my
I said,
word.
us adults can do it this way, but I got you.
Yes.
But he loved
loved
it.
it.
Loved it.
I visited with him one of the nights in the park for a little while.
Isn't he fun?
He's so happy here.
He is. He loves this town. He is super excited
It was
to be
cool.
here.
So many officers I visited with over the 2-week celebration, and they really just love our city.
I love
so.
our officers, and I think I need to do a shout out on our national news. There's some issues with police officers, and people have been throwing water on them in New York, and I was really in awe of how our police officers handled this whole week with everything that's going on.
They're awesome.
I love them. Yep.
An
Yep, good
amazing
city.
week.
Yep.
And you, girlfriend, looked amazing in your
you
cowgirl
did.
clothes.
Yep. Gorgeous.
We dressed
Yes.
up this year.
Love
The guy's
that.
like, what about if we get Western shirts? We have to be in the parade every night right through. This week, having 5 nights, or like we might need another shirt.
Yeah.
So we got some Western shirts. So
you
we had
looked-
Ream sponsor us last month, and that black hat with the white
Oh,
stitching.
it looked amazing.
So
You
pretty.
looked awesome.
Okay,
So
you guys
we need
need
to
to
find that
borrow it.
clip of Stacy and
Yeah,
show
we
that
do.
off. Mhm.
Stop.
She
stop.
looked cute.
Yes.
Okay, changing the
It was amazing.
subject. Oh no, movies.
Yes. No. I have not.
You guys, you said
One.
almost every movie. I feel like, yeah.
Okay,
like a
so
movie
you
buff.
haven't seen anything this summer.
So you mentioned Aladdin, I think, earlier. So we started off with Aladdin.
Okay.
The kids have been to Toy Story 4.
Okay.
So
you
they've
didn't
done
see
the
that.
they've done the Tuesday thing. I unfortunately have
Okay.
not been able to go to them. I still have my sights set on yesterday.
Okay, I saw that. Who our producer Pete suggested that one, and my mother-in-law. She said I've seen it twice. I loved it, so I just got tickets. Told Chris that's what we were going to, and I thought it was okay.
Wasn't great, but okay.
For me.
Was the music good, or like, did you have to love the Beatles in order
And maybe
to?
because I'm not so musically inclined, and I couldn't understand. Maybe they had a lot of innuendos or references that I didn't even understand.
So you don't have that so much anyway, but I really think you have to kind of love the Beatles music also, or have been a big
That
Beatles
could
fan.
be it.
'cause
To
my
really
mom,
love it.
Yes, because my
Yeah.
mom was super, super excited about it. But when we had gone to see Cirque du Soleil Beatles in Las Vegas, I'm like, man. And she was like, oh,
I love it.
I love it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yes. So I think maybe it just depends on your
Maybe that could
generation
be
or
a-
your musical
maybe.
taste or
Talk about generations, though. We went and saw Aladdin, and I took my 17-year-old son to it, and I was thinking, like, yeah, I don't know, because it's a lot of music. And we walked out of there, and he really loved it. And so that was really surprising for all of us. I think the remake on that live version was really
My
good.
20-year-old
That's
went
what
saw it, and they said they loved it. Yeah,
We did. Yeah,
And
we thought that
you've
was
already
really
seen
good.
Lion King?
We've seen Lion King, and we took the grandbabies to it, and I was like, oh, are they going to last or not? And they did pretty good. They
did.
But that live, I mean, they went by the book on that one,
Really?
like old school, like to the T.
I heard that they did each scene the exact same.
They did.
Oh, wow.
I mean, it just felt like a recreation of the same.
I can't wait to go see
Because you
that.
can't change the story on something like that.
No.
You know what I mean?
No.
So that was really neat. I thought that one was a good one. Let's see, Toy Story, I liked it, but I thought, I don't know.
Oh, okay.
It's a Toy Story movie.
So my little guy Gunners, his
Yeah.
description, he said that it was kind of scary.
I've heard
I
that.
thought
it a
the
little
same.
scary?
Yeah, they had those old dolls that had like the mouth open.
vintage dolls,
They were kind of
yeah.
creepy to me.
right.
I agree. I totally agree. Yeah, I thought it was a little creepy.
Okay.
On the creepy side.
All right.
If it was Halloween time, maybe I think, yeah, that was a
Maybe
good
it'll
scary
be out
movie.
on DVD by then.
So yeah, they
And
needed.
Spider-Man, we thought that one was awesome.
Oh, okay.
We're Marvel fans in our house, but
good.
I really like
My
Spider-Man.
son loved Godzilla. Have you seen that?
We saw that too.
My God.
goodness.
I'm telling
right.
you. Yeah, we're movie
Wow.
buffs.
Awesome.
But yeah,
I am too, I like to say, but not this summer.
I don't know why,
Yes.
but yeah, we've been to a
Okay.
bunch.
Well, good for you.
Summer, 'tis the end of summer. So
not
we
even
also did a kindergarten registration this week. So it's the
And
better end of
for
summer.
Gunner?
Yes, yeah.
So your baby's going to go to
My
kindergarten.
baby's going to kindergarten. So
How are you
there's that
feeling?
part of me that's like,
So sad.
yeah, I can't believe it's really happening. But then there's the other part that's like, to go to school. like,
2 hours by myself, kind of.
kind of, right? I know. What can I do in these? What can I do in these? Yeah,
Yeah.
these
But
hours.
still, that's
Yeah, it
fun.
goes by fast.
Oh,
so.
no, it's crazy. One more month. Countdown's
Well,
on.
and I think we're going to be talking about this a little bit later on, but kind of the, generations and aging parents and all of those things, kind of the circle of life.
Yes.
So my dad had surgery today, and I was thinking about that. So I'm like right in the middle. I'm the perfect Oreo. So one having surgery today and registering one for kindergarten.
I kind of feel like we're
Yeah.
all kind of in that same place, trying to
Transition.
and balance all of that.
Well, that's perfect. We'll be talking about that on this episode. So coming up
Perfect.
next on Studio Chatter, we'll talk with a woman that's publishing her first book. That's coming right up. Welcome back to Studio Chatter. If you were an author, what kind of books would you write? And here to share one of her stories is Amy Latimer, an author that is publishing her first book. Welcome to the Chatter, Amy.
Welcome, cute Amy. Okay, I am so lucky that Amy is one of my neighbors. And a few years back, we were chatting about how she was writing a book. And I said, oh, I would love to read it when it's done. And she said, I'll give you a couple of chapters to read. And so I just feel super lucky, but she's amazing, gals. She's truly an author. Like she should be up there at the top. So anyway, but her book we want to talk about today that you've been kind of working on is
It's been a long process. It's called
Atner.
Atner.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a picture. Do you want me to show it?
Yeah, show us the cover.
Yep.
Okay, so this is the cover. And I've been working on it for 10 years or more.
So tell us how that journey started.
Well, it all started with probably originally with just my love of young adult books, really good young adult stories. I had read many stories, with vampires and warlocks and witches and things like that, but there wasn't as much written on what could be happening under the waves. And so I had this idea. We were on a trip to Disneyland, and I just had this idea of, I had these species come to mind, and I had an idea about this young guy who could be a species himself. And I just kind of went with it. I came home from that trip, and I sat down in front of the computer, and I just started writing. And I had no idea where it was going to go. But every chapter, I would sit down, and the story would unfold itself. And pretty soon I was 20 chapters into it.
Oh my goodness.
And I had this story. And so I had always loved to write. When I was a young girl, I wrote tons of poetry and sonnets and children's books, but I never thought ever that I would write a novel.
So it hasn't been like a lifelong dream.
Not to write a novel. Not to write a novel.
But you'd love
I did.
Yes,
I did
she
take
did.
creative writing courses. I took lots of courses on writing, but I was like scribbling down sonnets and stories even before that, like just my whole life.
But never knew the novel would be the end
Never
game.
knew
Tell
a
us.
novel would be the end game.
But to listen to her, like she's telling me a story as she's talking, and that's how she does in the book. You guys, I was hooked within the first couple of paragraphs.
Really?
I could visualize the place where she was, and in fact, she vacationed in the Oregon coast and had posted some pictures.
Yes.
And I think I texted her, emailed her later, and said, "That is a picture that I picture where he started."
Yeah. So it's basically a story about a young man who has always had, his name's Andrew Ducott, and he's always had this obsession with the ocean and the sea life that inhabits it, basically. But he's never known why he has this love of the ocean, and until he turns 11, and he's fishing with his dad on a fishing boat, and he starts to feel tremors come up from the hull of the boat, and he's not sure at first what they are, but then soon after realizes that they're coming from the fishes and the species, and he can tell what kind of species they are, and it kind of freaks him out a little bit. And then soon after that, he discovers that he can actually breathe underwater as well.
Oh, okay.
So he tells his father about this, but his father silences him. And so he never tells anyone else, and it kind of becomes a secret until many years later, he's working in a coffee shop in Gig Harbor, and he meets this girl named Raina. And she becomes a big character in the book, and she kind of pulls this out of him, this gift out of him, the secret that he hasn't told anyone. And the mystery starts to unfold from that point on. And things start to happen to him and to her, and the reader starts to realize what this person is actually capable of. And the mystery actually revolves around a real life mystery that was set back in 1900, actually happened back in 1900 off the coast of Scotland on a small island called Eilean Mor. 3 light keepers went missing, and no one knows to this day what happened to them. So when I found out about the mystery, I became a little obsessed with it and just researched as much as I could and thought, you know what? This could be a great whoddunit for my story.
Yes.
And
I
so
thought that
my
you
whole
pulled
story,
historical information and facts, so it almost makes it just super believable. Like this could happen.
I hope so.
Yes.
That was my hope. So I have my whole story revolving, around a real life mystery that happened in Scotland.
Okay, so
to these light keepers.
Yeah. So how did you? So this is not the first book.
This is part one of my first novel.
Okay. So then how did you push it to the point where you get published or have other people start reading it and getting to that point?
Yeah, well, this is a self-published book. So I'm going through Kindle eBooks. So we had to do the whole processing of formatting ourselves, of bringing all of my chapters to a Kindle format so other people could read it.
Okay.
And so it's a new experience for us too. We've never done anything like that. So yeah, but it's been really interesting and eye-opening and a lot of work for my husband because he's the one that was doing all the formatting. So I'm just going to give a shout out to him. Yeah, he did all the formatting.
It takes a village to do stuff.
It takes a
You have to
village.
make dreams come true.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's been such an incredible journey. And even like the title of my book, when I first started writing, I had no idea what it was going to be called. And one night when I was sleeping, I saw this word, Atner, just like as you see it here, in the blackness. Like it was bright blue letters that had a Celtic cross for a T. And that's all I saw. And I woke up quickly after that dream and I wrote it down because I have a little dream journal. Every once in a while, I'll write down like amazing dreams if I have them, which isn't very often. But that one I remembered and I wrote it down and I wrote the date down and I didn't really think anything of it after I wrote it down. But then several weeks later in my writing process, it came to me that that was to be the title of my book.
So then tell us how that ties in.
Oh, I don't want to give too much away.
Don't talk too much about it because I don't want to give it away.
It may give a lot of away, but it is definitely tied to the main character.
Then
I will say that.
You. So your name is Amy Latimer.
Yes.
But this is not Amy Latimer.
That is correct. That is my pen name.
Oh, okay.
So, again, I've written my whole life poetry and children's books and things, and I just always loved, my maiden name was Sassy. And I kind of knew back in the day that if I ever became a writer, I just really wanted Amy
That's
Sassy.
a cool maiden name.
Yeah, I loved it. I loved it. And I love my new name too. I love Latimer, but I just really, I wanted that name as my pen name.
Okay.
And so there it is.
It's a great pen.
And those are just your initials.
So
then,
those are
AM.
my initials. Yeah.
And you do AM Sassy,
AM
right?
Sassy.
AM
So
Sassy.
yes, yeah,
Okay.
just AM Sassy. Yeah. So it's for Amy Michelle. Okay. That's my name.
So with the writing process, what are the highs and lows of trying to bring about something like that?
Okay, so the highs are probably for me like the completion of a thought. When I write, I always see it in my mind, almost unfolding like a movie in a way. And so the completion of a scene in a movie is kind of how I look at it. When I complete a chapter in a book, it's like completing a scene in a movie. And when you're done with the book, it's so like satisfying to be able to go back and see the thought come to fruition. So other people can hopefully, see it and
Like you
visualize
feel
it
good
like
about
you
that.
could.
Yeah.
And for me, this whole book has been, I feel like a very spiritual journey in a strange way. Like, I just felt like, because I'm a spiritual person, but I felt like I was very much, I don't know, kind of spiritually led in a way.
Led through,
Yeah, because this story basically, and when part 2 comes out, you'll see it more clearly, but it really is a story about faith. It's a story about someone finding faith.
Yes.
And I try to make it as general as possible in the book, you know? But yeah.
Okay, ladies, are you up for reading it?
Yes.
So I was just wanting to say yes. Yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
So if it's okay with you, we're going to read your book for our book
Yes,
club.
I'm excited.
Okay, so we just need to get on Kindle.
Yes, just get on
Download it.
Kindle, and it's also a little spooky, and
We
it's a
can
thriller
handle
too.
it.
It is.
So,
Oh, you guys
Yeah.
are so good. I hate to say this, but honestly, it rivals with Twilight series. Like after I read it, I'm like, this needs to be made into a movie. Really,
And maybe
people,
it will.
you need
Maybe
to
it
read this
will
book.
be. You never know.
Thank you.
Well, we're anxious to read it, and thank you for sharing. Thanks so
Thank you
much.
for having me on. I really appreciate it. So thanks.
Does your house look like a hurricane just hit? Then you might have toddlers too. Stay with us for all the messy details. Welcome back to Studio Chatter. One toddler can be trouble, but 3 toddlers can be a natural disaster. Welcome Cambry Randolph, the mother of 3 toddlers, to the program.
Hi, Kat.
Cambry's here.
Okay, so you're
Love this girl so much.
You're
We do.
so much fun, and you're so fun to follow on your social media, and now you have a blog.
Yes.
But I've known you since you were in elementary. You and my daughter and Angie's daughter were
Yep.
all in the same little group of friends. And since you were little, you wanted to be a mom.
Oh, yeah.
And not just like, I want a kid or 2.
Like, I
wanted
want
like
to try
12.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and I'd be like, oh, Cambry, honey, when you become a mother, you won't
You
want
want
that.
one,
I
and then
swear.
maybe 2 on a good day. And you've already got 3.
Yes.
This is fantastic.
Yeah, and you had
Yeah.
them, like, are they 4 and under? Or
Yeah.
Okay,
So my oldest just barely turned 4.
Okay, so tell us your
Oh,
boys
goodness.
and their names.
Okay. So Will is 4.
Okay.
Nash is 2. And Dawson is 11 months.
Okay. So I've known you since
Good
you were
gravy.
young. You wanted these kids. How is that different now from what you envisioned it like when you were a little girl?
Harder. So much harder. Like,
Right?
way hard. But it's like being a mom is like the most exhausting, but the most rewarding job.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, some days are full of like sunshine and rainbows, and other days are like a dozen cracked eggs on the floor and chewed up gum in your carpet.
You just leave them alone for a second.
And most days have both
yeah.
of those in it.
Oh, yeah.
You don't even have a full day of
Oh no!
rainbows.
And like within a minute, and then you're like, "Where'd the other one go? What's going on down there?" I remember
Seriously.
one of your posts was like that. It was like a trail of just
I know.
disaster.
It was. It
and
was
ended in a
terrible.
closet or something.
Oh, in the
maybe.
fetal position, I'm sure. Like always.
Well, especially with boys, I have found that boys just have so much energy, different
so
energy.
busy.
So I have a girl and a boy, and it was like night and day difference. It still is night and day difference. And in fact, I just said the other day, we need to shift the couch because I just know he's gonna go through the window when he's jumping. I'm like, wait, it needs to be moved because we are gonna have a natural disaster.
yeah, they're crazy.
They
They're
are
so
crazy.
busy.
So, as a young mother, how important is it for you to rely on a tribe?
I feel like for me,
Who is your tribe?
my family, my friends.
Okay.
So I live really close to my mom and my sisters. So they help me out a lot. But like having my 3rd baby kind of rocked my world. Like, why didn't anyone tell me the kids were so hard? No, I'm just kidding.
No, but like 2, it's like you and your hubby, or
Right.
you can 2 hands.
Yeah.
And then
right.
the
And
third
then you're
comes along.
outnumbered and
Yeah,
it's
sure.
like, what's going on?
Right.
But like a year ago, I would have hate to admit like that I was struggling or that motherhood was so hard. But I had the realization that I couldn't do everything myself. Like physically, emotionally, I just couldn't. And not only that, but like my village, my people, they wanted to help me. So when I realized that it made my life easier and bettered my relationships and my children's relationships with my village, then it was okay. It's okay
Why do we
to
feel
ask
like
for
we
help.
have to do it
Good
all on
question,
our
yeah.
own? Like we're
Right.
failing
I
if
do
we
not
ask
know.
for help.
I know,
Right?
And
but
it was so
instead
hard
it
for
can
me.
increase like everyone's well-being and your
Right.
experience.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here on
Do you
Earth.
think it's worried about the judgment? Do you think all...
I think it's our
I just feel
self-expectations of each
like,
other.
Right, exactly.
Yes.
Expectations. Like I feel like, oh, I can do everything. I've got it.
I'm
like,
strong, I'm tough, I've got
Yeah,
this. Like,
for
why
sure.
shouldn't I be
Right.
able to do it?
I think
Right.
it's
Yeah.
that, and then social media probably doesn't help either because it makes it look like sunshines and rainbows
Right.
all of the time.
Like Cambry's boys
And-
look like this all the time. These
Yeah,
cute little
there's
dimpled,
perfectness.
cuteness. And then it's like, no, in the back scenes, there's
Yeah.
havoc going on some days. Even though those
Always.
moments are great.
Always have it,
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that totally. Okay, so this kind of like pulls up this self-care, like little terminology that we hear about that. How do you feel about that? And is it a real thing and is it important?
Do you do it?
Do you ever have time for that?
Do I think it's important?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Do I feel like it can be taken out of context and overdone? Yes.
Absolutely.
There's a difference between self-care and self-indulgence. Both are great,
I like
Yes.
that.
but it's good to know the difference.
Yeah. So,
so-
tell us what, yeah.
So for me, I like to go to the gym. Self-care for me is something that betters myself as a mom, a person, a mother, whatever it is. So going to the gym. I like to go to the gym because I want to live a long, healthy life with my husband, but also keep up with my crazy kids. And then my youngest, more recently, he's got developmental delays, he's got special needs, and so I have to, haul him around everywhere. And so
Physically, you
yeah,
need to be
like a strong
for
back.
him.
yes, for
Yes.
sure. So so it's important to be there for him.
Can I ask you if you take advantage of the gym daycare?
I don't.
You don't?
No.
Okay. No, that's okay.
I go early in the morning.
either.
I know.
Mine hated it.
Well, especially like with my youngest, like it's just kind of hard for him. But yeah, I
tried
go
it
early in the
once
morning,
and they
so my
brought
husband
him
watches
to
them.
me about after 5 minutes.
Well,
I'm
me
like,
too.
this is
I'm
not
like,
going
yeah,
well.
this is
Now I'm too
working.
worried about what's going on in
know.
there that I can't work out.
And we're in the middle of potty training, so that
Yeah,
would just be a
that's not-
disaster in
oh,
itself.
boy.
So yeah,
That is
So
so
the
great.
gym for you
yes,
is self-care.
yeah.
And do you want to elaborate at all of what do you think sometimes is indulgence? Because I feel like there is that. Like some women, I hear that like the minute the husband walks in the door, it's just like, here, he's yours. You take him. I've had him all day.
Yeah,
I get the whole night. And every night of the week, the mom is getting the whole night.
husband's at work all day long.
Exactly. That's kind of
So
how I always thought. Like
We're equals, kind
Yeah,
of. If
it's
you're
a
working 9 to
partnership.
5, I was too. Let's
Right.
do this when we
Together.
get it. Yeah.
Yes, for sure.
I love it. The partnership.
Yeah. That is important.
Oh wow.
So talk about life hacks and what did you and routines?
Oh my goodness.
Routines.
Good
Stuff.
I've always been kind of a control freak. Having 3 crazy boys has not helped that. I mean, I don't know why, but no, I
You won't stay in that routine sometimes.
oh my gosh, I know it's so hard. But like a few simple things that I do, like if we're leaving the house, I'll load the kids in the car and then run back in and do like a quick 5-minute cleanup because it really helps. So when you come home from like a long day, at least the kitchen is cleaned up.
Yeah.
And then like at night, like a 10-minute cleanup. And my husband actually helps me with this. So we put the kids to bed,
Yeah.
10-minute cleanup. He does upstairs, I do downstairs. It makes the next morning go so much more smooth. Yeah. It's the best. And then another thing is pre-packed bags. I know that sounds crazy, but
Like backpacks.
no. So like swimming bag. So if we come back from long day swimming, I'll unpack the bag and then repack it so it's ready to go the next time. I do the same thing with my diaper bag. So I get home, make sure we got wipes, diapers, bottles. Because
Just do it right then.
oh yeah,
Okay.
oh yeah.
Because
So-
you never know when you're going to have to hurry and leave.
right,
Or,
or grandma's
you'll be
gonna
in
come
a
pick
crazy.
up the kids
Yes.
or whatever.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
I've never thought of that.
I know, right?
Oh no, I love
Younger
this.
generation is so
So
smart.
I'm right. I'm in a little different stage of life than these two because I still have the 5-year-old, so that's a little bigger toddler, but kind of the same thing. It
Oh, yeah.
really really helps. Like when we're going out the door, I'm like, did you go potty? Do you have your device if you want one because they can take the Kindle in the car
Yeah.
and take your own drink. So let's go. I mean, we have to refill either the water bottle or whatever it is because I that's one thing I'm super weird about. I'm super possessive about my drink. I'm like.
You better get your own
No,
drink, 'cause
Mom, you
you're not-
can't have mommy's drink, so you have to get your own.
Well,
But
younger
really,
ones, you get the germs and
slapper and
backwash
the- yes.
and everything.
Well, Camry, I just love some of your posts and stuff, and your photography is amazing. Tell me your love and passion for that. Has it always been there? Or is that just something new and recent? Because I love all those little, like your birthday posts of him in his high chair and stuff.
and your
So
video
cute.
clips.
Yes.
I haven't always been into it,
Okay.
but I just have developed it. I kind of just taught myself, and I really liked it. Like,
did?
I like a pretty picture as much as the next girl,
Right?
but I also like on my Instagram. I like to be real. Like I like to show the real moments. I like to post the pretty pictures,
Right.
but you get in my stories and my highlights.
They're funny.
They are.
You'll
They're
see
fantastic.
it all.
Yep.
So can we let our viewers know your Instagram handle, or are you kind of do
Yeah.
you just because like me, I don't accept you if I don't know you on Instagram.
Right.
Like so, how
No,
are you?
I'm public. Come join me.
okay.
I will keep you laughing.
Oh,
tell you
for
how
sure.
amazing you are. It'll be good.
And let you know how her days went, and they're like so real.
Yeah, they
Like
really are.
so blasted
So what
real.
advice would you give to like a new mommy that's just starting out? Expectations up to, wherever. What would you tell her?
Soak in every single minute, but ask for help. You don't have to do it yourself. Please ask for help.
I think that's great advice. Like, be super present.
Yes.
And don't be so overwhelmed that you
Yeah,
can't be.
right.
And I feel like that's our problem is we're just
Yeah.
trying to do it all ourselves.
Yeah, it's too hard.
Well, you have a good tribe. We know your family.
Yep.
They're great.
And you,
They're
you have a good tribe. And everyone doesn't have that. So sometimes you need to look outside of that circle
Yeah.
to find a different looking tribe, but there's still help. So,
everywhere.
well, go follow her. She's fun.
Yeah, she is.
Awesome.
Great.
Great for
It's
you.
fun to be
Thanks
here.
for sharing.
Yes, of course.
Coming up next on Studio Chatter, dealing with the issues of aging and taking care of parents, it's the circle of life. Welcome back to Studio Chatter. Life just moves on and our roles just keep changing. We care for our children and then we help care for our parents. It's that circle of life. So we all have a different circle. We're all in a different place. So sometimes we refer to it as different seasons of life, if you will. But as we've talked about a little earlier in the show, I'm right in the middle of,
Yes, you are.
of raising children and
You're in the thick of it.
aging parents.
Yep.
Yes. So I'm like the perfect Oreo.
Yes.
And I'm an only child. So an example of that.
Oh,
That's a
makes
big
it
responsibility.
It is.
It is.
So that there was an example of that happened just today. That's probably why I'm getting a little tongue twisted today. My dad went into surgery earlier this morning, so he had foot surgery. So sitting there alone with my mom, waiting, waiting for the doctor's word and for them to come out and say that he's okay to go home, and then trying to make sure that he's home and situated while checking in at home to make sure that everything is still...
And no one else like a sibling to help you bear some of that burden.
And thankfully I have a really good tribe also of really good friends and family friends that offer support. But it kind of makes you think ahead to those times that you don't want to think ahead and say, what if, when, how... And that planning that comes into play. And it really is all about kind of the planning. So when you have small children at home, and while that was occurring today, I was registering the little guy for kindergarten. So there's really just two ends
two ends
of the spectrum.
Yep.
So it's really good spouse support, it's really good family support, it's really good friend support, and just saying, can you cover me here? Can you cover me here? Can you cover me at work? And just really...
It's just so
being in the thick
interesting
of it.
because of where you are with littles and aging parents, where our kids are all older, but yet you really enjoyed your 20s of just experiencing your career and life, where we had those littles at home. So our 20s were just so different than yours, but now our 40s are so different than yours.
Right. But then
so
it's like,
interesting.
I felt like, okay, when I get to 40, now all those kids will be raised and I'll kind of have this free time. And then the grandkids come along and then the aging parents start. So that balance is like thrown off a little bit. And not that we need like our free time or whatever, but it's, for me, is trying to balance between being a mother, being a grandma, still working, church responsibilities, my own aspirations, and then looking at our parents and saying, they're getting to that place where they need our help, just like the grandkids, just like our children. And how do you balance that? I really struggle some days between just like, today is all about Bo, or, tomorrow's all about the grandkids. Tomorrow's
So do you kind of do that? Like, do you pick a day?
Well, sometimes things just happen.
Yeah,
you can't control
Life
it, and so
happens.
it's like phone calls, texts. Going to visit one, picking up one. But other days, it's like I haven't talked to mom, like really talked to her in a couple of days. I need to call her.
Yeah.
I maybe text her back for a quick second. I think she needs my attention.
Okay.
That's Rhett is really good about just stopping by his parents' home, and my mom and dad. He is really great about that older generation, and he will sit and chat and really engage with them. And I really appreciate that because I'm more of an action and things are done I need to do, and he really takes that time.
And that generation, that's what you want.
That's what they need. Yep.
Because it can be lonely.
Yeah, it can be. But it's a frustrating time. I don't know. I feel like I'm playing catch up all the time.
But do you find some you time more now than you did, let's say, 10 years ago when you had teenagers and stuff?
In different ways. But yeah, I mean, now I can come home from church and like straighten up a little bit and put on my sweats and you know what I mean? Where before it was like, okay, now the kids are running.
Check
Yep.
Nebo School District's
down with the
website,
book.
make sure the grades are in and who has homework.
We're still doing a little bit of that, but not nearly what it was.
What it was.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And what
It's so
about you?
interesting.
I mean, I know that you still have some work responsibilities also. You're a grandma. I mean, it's
But I feel like a good balance right now. Like I feel like my 40s is kind of like that sweet spot of just, okay, the little kids are raised, are, both of our mothers are still alive and doing pretty good. So, but it is probably more the loneliness aspect. I know both of our mothers would love to see us more often. So it's thinking that through and like, hey.
When you have the extra time, not trying to be selfish and like, the self-care, like, do I need a minute or can I give another minute to someone else, and who needs that most?
That's
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Well, what about you? Do you have a loneliness factor at all? Because you have one at home, or
Yeah, 2 at
Ish.
home. Yeah,
Okay.
a 20 and 22-year-old just, yeah.
okay.
So like,
I thought
am
that had shifted recently. So
well, it's going to shift back.
oh,
So
okay,
as this moment, as we're talking, one at home, but within
Okay.
the next couple weeks,
okay.
she'll be
So
back.
that-
She'll be
that's-
like, I don't love living out. I want to.
Actually, that's
I'm
actually
coming
kinda
back.
Great.
Surprise! I'm back.
Yay!
So it is.
liking
It's like
that.
that. But what was your question? If I have
If you had
loneliness?
any lonely factors, because I know when it was maybe a few months ago when everybody was going to be gone.
I know, Natasha. We totally talked about that.
You should never say that. It jinxes, and then
Yes.
it comes back.
And now they're back.
Yep.
Because we were saying both my girls were leaving, and how am I going to function?
Right, right.
Don't
And
God
I
know
said, you know
that
what? Bounce back. They have the bounce back pass, so
Totally.
they
No.
must be very comfortable at home.
Yeah, and it's a busy time of year, so it's interesting though because my girlfriends from high school and I still hang out, and so we're all the same stage, and a lot of our kids are older, and they're starting to be like, "Wow, there's just night after night that I don't have anything. I'm bored." Like
Then you start
lonely.
doing studio chatter and football booster club, and, you know.
Find
Countless
things-
date night. Well, if ever you know, I've offered. If ever you ever get too lonely, I have a couple you can borrow
okay,
for a minute.
just call you.
You and Barrett are like this with your little selfies. I love it.
Everywhere we go, we're
Yes,
just like,
everywhere you go.
so cute. We'll enjoy that little little stage because it really only
It
lasts.
goes-
It does go
a minute.
fast though.
It does.
I feel like
Yeah.
it's
Yep.
flying by.
And we need to enjoy like all those moments, even though they're hard or tricky. Like find those, the good stuff.
Coming up next, school starts earlier this year. Are you ready for that? Stay with us. Welcome back to Studio Chatter. Back to school typically means lots of shopping, but what other preparations do we need to think about? Let's welcome Leslie Swenson, a counselor at Spanish Fork High School, to the table.
Another one of our
Welcome.
favorite gals.
Yeah. So right off the bat, can you just help us define what kind of a counselor you are, or what exactly your role is at the school?
So we honestly wear a lot of different hats. So a lot of people think that all we do is change schedules. They're like, oh, call your counselor. We don't like the teacher that you have. Let's let her take care of it. But there's a lot more than that to it. So we do help with scheduling. We help with preparing for college. I'm at the high school level, so we help with preparing for college and career readiness. But we also are involved with like the emotional side of things. If there's a student that is struggling emotionally, or they have something that they're going through at home, we're kind of a student advocate for them. A lot of times I work as a liaison between the student, and I help them with communicating things to their teachers that maybe the student doesn't want to communicate to them, and then follow up with the parents on how that communication with the teachers went. And I oftentimes, that's my role as well. We do classroom lessons, grief groups, anxiety groups.
Really?
Yeah.
So
I was
your
wondering-
education was across the board then, kind of.
Yeah,
counseling,
and
like
honestly,
educational, but
yeah, more on the psychology side of things, more on the emotional support of things. But then once you get going in it, it is a ton of the academic of scheduling and that stuff as well. So
Well, kids have a lot on their plate right now.
Yeah.
So I can imagine with college prep and maybe the anxiety of going back to school or the last year or picking the right school or
and bullying and different things like that are huge issues.
But
at
even
that
the
high school.
scheduling, I feel like, the classes or what am I doing for extracurricular or gosh, and even keeping their social media updated. There are I'm not kidding though.
so
There's
true.
so
The
many
anxieties
things.
are real.
Yes.
Yep.
Oh yeah, and there's so many opportunities, but it also like gives them so much pressure. Like, oh, I need to be doing every single thing, and they don't.
And my
you know
parents
what I
want me to
mean?
get 4.0 and
Yeah.
I have to have my 2-year degree by the time I leave, which is possible.
Yes.
But there's different routes, which I have come to find out over the few years. And now with my last one, I kind of get it, but not really. Now I'm dropping the ball. But like we have the MATC, we have the leadership. Like tell
Yeah,
us all the
so,
different places they can take courses.
Yeah, there's a lot of opportunities, which is cool. And that's what we meet individually with students. We invite a student and their parent to come their sophomore year and then their senior year. So we work in the summer, not every day, but throughout the summer we meet with our future senior students and their parents, and we just go through their credits, make sure that they have everything they need to graduate, and we just talk about some of the different opportunities that they have, especially like with our 5x5 schedule that we have at Spanish Fork High School.
a lot of
Yeah, they
options.
take 5 classes, on A day, 5 classes on B day. So a lot of them are able to get all of their required courses done early on. So their senior year, they have a lot of flexibility. So some of their options are just staying at Spanish Fork High School and doing a lot of different concurrent enrollment classes, because we offer a ton of concurrent
that's through
enrollment.
UVU,
yes,
correct?
So
Okay.
that's because they're dually enrolled as a high school student and a college student, but the classes are taught by the Spanish Fork High School teachers, and they're just able to get that college credit.
For like $50.
So cheap.
It's
So
so inexpensive.
$5 a credit. Yeah,
Yes.
super cheap. So a lot of our seniors, we just see them just stay at Spanish Fork High School. They're taking English 1010, they're taking Math 1010 or 1030, 1040, 1050. Like I said, we offer a ton. Spanish Fork High School typically wins an award like every year that we have the largest course enrollment out of all the high schools in Utah. So
Really?
so we have a lot of our students that are knocking out a lot of college credit while they're in high school, which is great.
So say a student isn't university bound, what are some other options that they have there?
So we just really promote any post-secondary education, and it doesn't have to be college. Like, it does not have to be a university, because that's not for everyone. It's
And we have a lot of
hard
trades
and-
out there that need to be fulfilled.
Exactly.
Right.
So a great opportunity that students have is attending MTech, which is the Mountain Land Technical College. It's just there by ALA. And they offer like diesel mechanic, welding. A lot of students get their nurse assistant, their CNA, their medical assistant, their dental assistant. So there's a lot of opportunities that way. Some students just do it to see if they like that field. Like, they think they might like nursing, but they don't know. And so that's a really good way to jump in and get a more hands-on feel to see if you like it, rather than go
Spending
through
a
4
ton of
years,
money, right.
and decide that it's not for them. So that's
love
good.
that.
Leslie, what's the best way a parent can support their kids going through all this process? Because it's difficult.
I love this question. So I feel like the most important thing is to not overload your kids, because you see all these opportunities, and as a parent, you're like, I want my student to take advantage of every single one of these things, and concurrent enrollment is so cheap, so take them all. And you see these students that are loading up with like 18 college credits because they have 5 different concurrent enrollment classes, and then they're involved in sports, they have a social life, they're this and that, and they're just getting so overwhelmed. But they have to keep their 4.0 because they don't want to, they want an academic scholarship. And I just think you need to take a step back, take a look at their schedule and think, okay, do they have some fun classes built in? Do they have a study hall built in? Do they have something where it's not just going to completely overwhelm them and make them feel like they're just in over their head? Because we do see that a lot. And just by talking to your students, I feel like so many times they're going through social things and other different things that impact their school that in our head, we don't think that their social sphere is impacting their academic sphere, but it is. And so just being open with your kids and having that relationship where they feel like they can talk to you if they're having a boy problem or a friend problem, or if they're stressed out at school, and being able to be open about it and talk about it can really help them.
I think finding that balance between, okay, are you just sloughing because you're like checked out, or is something going on that's causing this? Is it a situation of the class and the teacher? Are they not connecting? Do they not understand the student?
Yeah, and then talk to us, because that's what we're there for. And
you're their advocate.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. There's an issue going on. Let's fix it. That's our biggest thing at Spanish Fork High School is we want the students to be successful. Like that's what we want, is every student to feel successful and be able to be successful. So, whatever we need to do to make sure that happens.
Doesn't always look the same for every student or person.
Really not.
Yeah,
exactly.
So I love those.
How often do you see maybe a student come in with a parent, and the parent and the student goals are like night and day different, and then you have to meet separately with the parent? Do you meet separately
quite
with the student?
Quite often.
It's kind of hard because, and I totally, every time I can totally see like where the parent is coming, because I'm like, oh, that's exactly what I would want for my kid too.
Right.
And I
take advantage.
I totally get it, but sometimes you just have to meet them in the middle. And I do that sometimes. Like, okay, well, let me just talk with your student and I say, okay, you tell me how you're feeling, and then I'll call your dad after and I'll tell them how we had this conversation. And so many times when they're not, sometimes when they're together, I mean, I've had some heated conversations in my office. And like I said, sometimes when they're not together and I'm able to talk to each of them separately, then it's okay.
Oh, I can only imagine. Even with young ones, you can kind of see the spirit of when they have their mindset on something and parents see something completely different if it's finding that balance for both of them.
Especially as a teenager.
Teenagers.
You see things so differently.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Well, I'm so glad that you came here to educate us and get everybody in the right frame of mind for back to school, and that they have an advocate there at the school.
Yeah, there's lots of great, like I said, there's lots of great opportunities that they can take advantage of, but also just knowing that we're there. And as parents, just educate yourself, ask us questions. We try to do a lot of different like parent informational nights. So, we do different concurrent enrollment nights. We've done different anxiety nights, FAFSA nights. So we really try to reach out to parents to help educate them. So take advantage of those.
Those do come through, and I saw the one with concurrent enrollment. I have questions afterwards, but you guys do keep us well informed with what's out there.
It's hard as a parent because sometimes we sit back and think,
I don't even know where to
do
start.
this, or
Yes.
how do I do this?
Yeah.
And your kids just automatically think that you know everything, and you don't.
And so we're just there. That's what we're there for, is for questions.
That's a good reminder.
And sometimes they respond better to someone else.
Yeah, they do.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And where is this where that we can get more information?
So we have a website. Just if you go to Spanish Fork High School's website, there's a counseling webpage.
Okay.
And there's information about concurrent enrollment. There's our contact information. So yeah, that's a good place to find
take
stuff.
advantage.
See your
Right.
counselor.
Enjoy the rest of
Thank
this
you
summer
so
because it's
much.
Oh, I know.
going to
there.
get busy.
Yeah, we go back August 1st, so no time at all.
Okay.
There's more studio chatter coming up. Welcome back. We made it. What did we learn?
Ooh,
This was such a great show, guys. I just felt
was
like
fun.
the conversation was really good and like all over the place, which I
Yes,
love.
so
A little
many
bit
good
of
things.
everything.
good energy from those three women.
Yeah, really good energy.
Well, and then at the very end, Miss Lockhart pulls out homemade food. Look
Okay,
at this.
Beautifulnus.
So,
like this is
we're gonna
Pinterest worthy.
segue. Well, but on a different platter, maybe. So I'm gonna be a little hard on myself here, but just talking about different generations and traditions and all kind of those fun things and the weird social anxiety and just because people are doing that now more than like what we used to do way back when.
Right.
What our summer memories were. So I had found my grandmother's old meat grinder. And over the summer.
My grandma didn't have one.
So my mom and I'm like, well, we have to make ribbon sandwiches like Grandma used to make. So we got the meat, we got out the meat grinder, and then I don't know if you ladies remember, but when I was probably, I don't know, an adolescent or young child, and you were asked to serve. Do you remember this? When you were asked to serve at a wedding?
Yeah.
yes, and got a little apron.
And you got the little apron,
Yes.
right? And you served on actual plates.
Yes.
On little glass plates, and then they took them away.
You went around and
Do you
cleared
remember
the tables.
the colored
Yes.
ribbon sandwiches?
Yeah,
And
no,
just
I
that
do
you called it
remember
a
that.
ribbon sandwich. I haven't heard that in
forever.
So we decided to make them for the 4th and the 24th this year. So there you go. We had
Okay, so
the red, white, and blue
Did you
bread
grind
made.
this meat?
We did. Yeah.
What kind of meat is it?
What, yeah.
So
Like ham, like
you can use ham. You can use all sorts of things. We actually used the original recipe, which was beef bologna. So the kind you buy, not like Oscar Mayer yucky bologna, like the nice beef bologna that you buy in the slab, and then you
even know
grind
that
it
you
down,
could do that.
with
Either
the
did I,
pickle and
never.
the sauce, and then
So
your cheese
are you
spread.
wanting
and
us to taste this?
only if you want to.
No, I
I
do.
just thought I
Yeah,
would
I'd
want
love
to share
There you
and
go.
bring back a little
bring back
nostalgia.
yeah.
Okay,
So
I
I remember.
like it.
But do you remember going to a wedding
how
and there
cute
would
that
be
is.
like the pink bread or the purple bread or
I
yellow
do.
bread
And the pinwheel. Sometimes I
yeah.
do.
And at my wedding,
and a little cup of lemonade.
we had
maybe.
girls do that too.
Yeah.
Little,
How
They had them served.
I want to buy
So
like the whole thing, but I know
think
that's not possible.
Yeah, so you could take off the crust and maybe rub from the side or have little cucumbers. I don't know. Probably not. My kids don't love the pickle. So they're like, can you make it again without the pickles? But
I like it. So is it just the mayonnaise, the meat, and the pickle?
and cheese and the cheese
Super
spread.
yummy,
Yeah.
guys.
So it was more for the novelty. So I'm not offended if you don't
I just
finish
love
your
the
sandwich.
colors. I
But
love decorating
it is fun,
for
isn't
July.
it?
I love red, white, and blue.
But you can
It's so
still
fun.
order the bread in all different colors.
did you
and
get it
do-
from?
You ordered the bread?
So you have to order the bread because they cut it horizontally and then you have to stack everything.
I worked
and
at a
then cut it
bakery.
the
I did that
other
before.
direction.
It's tricky.
But you can do it for Halloween. You can do orange bread and black bread and red bread and blue bread.
I've gotten soup bowls that are colored recently, but not
it's
this.
it's the
This
same
may be
idea.
fun.
It's just I don't know that people do ribbon sandwiches anymore. So we're way off topic here. But we
No, we're not. Thank
we
you.
met an amazing author. We learned about anxiety and going back to school and everything that we need to get on track, and then also maybe getting some routines for your toddlers.
The moms that don't deal with back to school, they're just going to keep on
They're
checking through
just
the
gonna
ball with those
pretend.
kids.
Yep.
I love when Cambry left. She said, "I forgot to share my favorite
Oh
quote."
yeah, share
yeah,
that. Do you
share.
remember?
Well, I was going to ask you too because you said you know it so well. The strong-willed children grow up to be adults that change the world. Is that right?
Yes. Yep.
I love that.
That's important, I think, for moms
is.
to keep in mind as they're
Yeah.
raising these kids that
That they're not the bad kids or having issues that because of that stubbornness, they're going to stand up for maybe what they believe in and
Right.
grow and push
100%.
through. Yeah, I do love that.
I like it too.
when we did our opening, we forgot something fun you did, and I totally want to hear because I haven't heard.
Oh yeah,
You went to Hugh Jackman.
We did.
and you loved it.
We loved it. I mean,
It was more like opera, not opera, but more.
well, he had
classical.
a whole big orchestra and band behind him, and it really, I mean, I have never seen such an incredible one-man show.
Really?
I had no idea that, I mean, he did do some musical theater, he did do some tap dancing, he did
Really?
play the drums. Wow, the energy.
and I
then-
just thought he was an actor that kind of
know.
sang for Les Mis. You know what I mean?
Not at all.
No.
He had like a whole career, and he kind of tells his story, and then he told his love story with his wife on the stage, and then he had many of the dancers that were there from The Greatest Showman, and I guess the guest singer that so it was all just, it was 3 days in Salt Lake. I mean, it's no surprise that there was such a following in Utah.
And was that the original plan, or was it just one night and they just kept selling out?
I kept hearing that it was one night and they kept selling out.
That probably is the
Yeah.
case. I didn't know how it had really happened, but I think after he was here for a conference, and I may be totally speaking out of turn, but I think it was after the conference in Utah last year, and he made he performed once and then started touring and doing
Everyone
this whole
just
thing. Yeah, so
fell in
it was amazing. So you were lucky if you were there also.
Neat.
But
Hey, I want to bounce to the book though. Are we going to use Atner as our book club
Let's do
book?
it. I'm up
Should we
for
do
it.
it?
yes, yes.
$2.99 to download. That's what you said?
$2.99, the
Okay.
deal of the century, and she said that since I've read it, it's changed a little bit the story.
Okay.
So I'm excited to
That'll be a
reread.
cool
Yeah,
perspective. So give us a month.
yeah.
Join
Yes.
us.
Let's do it.
Kindle.
that genre.
Ooh, that'll be fun.
Gonna be
and you
awesome.
liked it as much as Twilight.
I did, you guys. I totally sold in. It was so good. Lake Powell reading in the cubby. It was awesome.
We'll have to have a picture of that next time.
right?
Yeah.
Well, thanks for being here with us. We hope you enjoyed the chatter. Tell a friend about us.